So what's up, everybody? Welcome to a new show. Let's jump straight into Overtime. Woo, professionalism. Welcome to Overtime, the new podcast because basketball. Right?
Yeah.
Because basketball. So since it's off season, people think there's not a lot to talk about, but there always is in the NBA, especially when you got such a loaded off season as we have this season. So we got our main thing that's on most people's minds, Kawhi Leonard, and where he might be going.
LA, baby.
LA. So we got some stats here. So he played 9 games for the Spurs this season.
That's a lot.
Was out with inner thigh injury, I think it was.
Yes.
He was cleared. Yeah, he was cleared a few times by the Spurs team, but not by his own personal doctors and that. He put in his trade request and wants to end up in LA, preferably with the Lakers. Why do you guys think? Why the Lakers? Why
Because
LA?
didn't he grow up in LA? Yeah, he grew up in LA. Yeah, he's from LA. That's why he wants to go there.
LA native, you know. And
But he's also come out and stated that he has no qualms about going to the Clippers either. So it's either Clippers or Lakers. He just wants to be in LA.
yeah, but no one wants to go to the Clippers. Not even DeAndre Jordan wants to stay there. So I doubt it. LA has everything from Hollywood to Rodeo. It's just LA. It doesn't get better than that. Guaranteed Hall of Fame status if he comes through to LA.
If he gets a ring, because if he comes to LA and doesn't get a ring,
Yeah, true.
he's going to be in a very small class of superstars that go to LA and don't get rings.
Yeah, there's Alan Baylor, but
That's one guy.
yeah,
He's the only guy that didn't get.
exactly.
He was 0-8 in the finals. Yeah, he was 0-8 in the finals. He never won a ring.
Do you know the crazy thing is the season
He retired.
they won a
The
ring. Yeah, that's sad.
So do you guys think it has something to do with Spotlight? You think he feels he's not getting enough? Because Kawhi Leonard is undoubtedly one of the best players in the NBA. But when people list the best players in the NBA, Kawhi's left to the side. He's a bit forgotten there in the Spurs.
Yeah,
It's a bit quiet there in Spurs town there.
it's the same thing with like John Stockton and Malone. They were a great duo. John Stockton's the best assist. He's the top assist leader, but you don't talk about them because they were in Utah.
Hmm.
No one really
Yeah,
cares about Utah.
Might be there. So, from what I could find, Cavs were in discussion with the Spurs, according to rumors, but were shut down almost immediately because they can't find a package. I mean,
What they're gonna offer?
yeah,
Kevin Love and everyone besides LeBron. Hey, we heard you like Henny. We got JR over there. He gets discounts for you.
Exactly.
What do you think? Do you think it's gonna be tough for the Spurs to hunt for a player to fit the Spurs? Because the Spurs have a more professional vibe than other NBA teams.
No.
When you think of the Spurs, you think about that calm, cool, collected professionalism. Must be hard to find a player to fit that. Or do you think Pop will just beat it into them?
What I think Pop is going to do is Pop is probably going to. He's probably looking for a young guy similar to what he did with Tim Duncan and David Robinson.
They say
then
that he
mold
might be
them.
retaring after the season. He's got 1 or 2 seasons left in him, I think he said.
Yeah.
If he
I
retires
think he's
after
retiring by 2020. Yeah.
2020, I say he's jumping ship.
Mm.
But it's okay. He's been great for a long time.
Yep.
I say getting some young guys. LA, baby, get in Ingram. You know.
There was a trade proposition that I heard from Miami. So it's literally Goran Dragic, because they have an aging point guard, so
Yeah.
they want to get a new point guard in
Makes
Fred
sense.
Flood. They get Justice Winslow to play defense at the
Mm.
small forward position, and Bam to give them athleticism at the center.
Okay.
But one of the most, speaking about Miami trade things, one of the most interesting ones I've seen is a 4-deal trade to get Lillard into Miami.
What?
A 4-team trade to get Lillard to Miami.
I'm in. What
Yeah.
do we have to give up, Hassan? Please.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know Goran was part of that. Yeah.
Oh,
But yeah, a 4-team trade to
no,
get
we're losing
Lillard. That
Hassan
would be
for-
quite an
for
interesting
Lillard.
move
Yeah.
if the Trailblazers moved Lillard.
Yeah.
Maybe they're thinking they're giving up on him a bit because he performs and then he doesn't. But when he does perform, he doesn't get recognized a lot of the
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
As much as I think that this despite the disappointments of Lillard in the playoffs, they weren't gonna get anywhere because they simply don't have the pieces.
Yeah.
Essentially, they got a backcourt of Lillard, McCollum, and that's it.
And that's it. You got Turner, who's
Yeah.
trash.
But back onto
You
Kawhi.
got Nurkic that got body bagged by LeBron. So, I mean, like,
Yeah.
that was fun.
Yeah. Trailblazers in a tough position. But back onto Kawhi. He's one of the very few players in NBA history, not just in the league today, in NBA history, to have a Defensive Player of the Year and a Finals MVP. Very rare for a player to have that package.
Yeah, that's true. Because
Yeah.
LeBron doesn't even have that.
Yeah. So it's hard to
KD
have that
does
because
Mhm.
Defensive Players of the Year, not
Don't come around often.
yeah, they don't come around often, and they're not usually on the perfect winning team, and they don't usually win that finals because they're defensive players. They're not the offensive stars. And one big thing since Lakers is his main. Do you think Lakers can keep Ball, Ingram, and Kuzma and get Kawhi? True, because
No,
you're the man of this. And is Ingram even worth that much at this point? Is he worth anything really at this? What has he done? What has Ingram done?
As a Laker fan, LA baby. I'm gonna put it straight. I don't want Lonzo Ball. I think we should trade Lonzo Ball. It doesn't seem like it. I looked at some deals. Some of the deals we're looking at is Ingram, Kuzma, Josh Hart, which is a brilliant defender, and a couple of first-round picks. Now, if I'm LA, that's the godfather of offers, right? But then again, I don't want us to be the Brooklyn Nets in a few years.
Yeah.
So what I think is Ingram is a good player. He's
I mean,
improving.
you did have a breakout game from Ingram, but it was the wrong one.
Yeah, exactly. Ingram is a good player, but he's growing too slowly. He's in LA. I feel like San Antonio is the perfect place. You know, the expectations are lower to give him time to come into this mode of being the new Kevin Durant. But in LA, it's too slow. So if I'm LA, I tell Greg Popovich and the Spurs, I give you Ingram, I give you Josh Hart. They have to take Dang, they probably won't, and I give you a couple of first round picks.
Just get rid of that
Yeah,
dang
just-
contract.
Oh dang!
Just be like put it in like the fine print of the contract of the trade. It's like
Exactly.
we'll give you all of this and dang,
Yeah.
but you have to take.
It's like a 17 more contract for a bench player.
For a
No,
bench-
not a bench player, for a stay-at-home
Yeah.
player.
for a stay-at-home player.
Oh, dude.
Have you ever noticed that we're like essentially with the recent batch of rookies, we essentially the media's tried to replace LeBron and KD. We got Ben Simmons the next LeBron, and we got Ingram the next KD.
Ingram the next KD.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
good.
when he was drafted, but
Yeah.
not anymore. Yeah.
Not anymore, yeah.
Oh, so again on Kawhi, the biggest trend so far that you can see on fans getting excited about getting him. We were talking about this just before we started recording. Is people expecting to get him while maintaining their core? Do you think any team could get Kawhi while maintaining all their starters? Is it possible
No.
to get a player like that
No,
and maintain your core?
okay, I can't say.
I think the only team
It's
that
probably
could do
Boston.
that, yeah, is Boston because they've got such a deep
deep.
bench and
And
so much
some-
potential.
And also so much assets,
Yeah.
like picks and stuff. Literally, they could throw in so many picks and so many players at the San Antonio Spurs, but San Antonio don't want to do that. They don't
Yeah.
want to make any.
I think as long
any
as
rival
as Pop stays with them, they want to contend. They'll contend until Pop leaves, and then I think they'll go into rebuild.
I
Yeah.
agree with you. If I'm Boston, I saw a deal with Jalen Brown, Tatum, and a couple of first round picks. If I'm Boston, I move Hayward. I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
you got injured at the wrong time. I move Hayward. I move Jalen Brown. You get Kawhi in.
I don't know about moving Jalen Brown. Hey, he might have the most potential, or one of the most potential out of shooting guards
scary
today. Yeah.
Terry.
I mean, Jalen Brown can play, hey? And he's only grown
He can.
at crazy leaps. I mean, who knew Jalen Brown when he came into the league?
Yeah, no one.
And now he's just one of Boston's doers at the top.
Then, if you're the Celtics, you prefer Jalen Brown or Tatum because I don't think they keep both.
I think then they choose Tatum over Brown.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree.
But I think the bigger question there would be Brown or Smart, because they've got two starting caliber shooting guards. But who do you keep?
You keep Brown easy.
Yeah.
He's younger.
He's younger, he's taller, he's stronger, he's a better. Well, they're both great
He's
defenders.
essentially-
Smart is an amazing defender, but
Like,
he's better. on
everyone
offense.
knows at this point, to get out of the East, you're gonna have to match LeBron in something.
Yeah.
Jalen Brown on the Celtics team is the best matchup besides Markieff Morris.
Yeah, Markieff is just.
No,
But
but
he's-
Markieff
yeah.
gets lit up though.
Yeah,
he
no.
gets lit up by LeBron. But Jalen Brown is just young and athletic enough to actually keep pace with an aging LeBron,
Mm-mm.
which is weird to say, but yeah.
There's no such thing as an aging
Aging
LeBron.
LeBron.
It's a myth.
LeBron.
LeBron is the one player that ages like wine and not milk.
Exactly that.
So we got a thing that we'll try to start doing in off seasons, maybe throughout the seasons, and the overtime awards or whatever we come to name it. Eventually, maybe it'll change names. So we got the best player for the regular season. Who do you guys think?
Okay, for
Who's
me,
your pick?
like Honestly, I know LeBron had the best statistical year. He had the best statistical year. He should have been. He is the best player, so he should get the award. But it's James Harden. It's James Harden's MVP season. He needs it.
Alright, it's LA, baby. I'm saying it's James Harden, you know.
What?
I'm
You
just saying
see?
LA, you know. Repping LA, we need a superstar. That's me, Choo Choo, aka LA boy. So yeah, it's LA, baby. My pick is James Harden. James Harden, why? Because every matchup against James Harden's barbecue chicken. Once he isolates you, it's a lonely place, and guess what? You lose your ankles while you're at it. So definitely James Harden put up big numbers, improved the Rockets with Chris Paul, showed up in every game possible, improved his defense barely, but he did.
Yeah. Well, we got some stats on James Harden here. We have got, where are my stats? Here we go. 72 games played, 30.4 points per game, shooting 44.9% from the field, 36% from deep, 85% free throws, 8 assists, 4.5 rebounds, won the MVP. 5.4 rebounds, yeah, won the MVP. Him and Paul are the best scoring duo in NBA history, and the second to average over 8 assists as a duo. Chris Paul averaged, I think, 9.4, 9, somewhere there about, and James Harden with his 8.
Yeah, but
0.5. So, but looking at that duo, that's very impressive. To bring in someone people thought that they would clash and not work, and becoming one of the best duos to play the game.
yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
But also, it takes away a bit from Harden if you know that if Harden's not on his game, you can have CP3 step up. When other players like AD, Boogie went down with an injury, he had no one. There was no.
played. That's why.
Okay, well maybe he had Drew Holiday, but you didn't have Drew Holiday carrying the same load as as AD.
But Drew Holiday turned up in the playoffs. Eh? He
Yeah,
finally
he
came alive.
I'm sorry.
Drew Holiday is an all-star god, and he finally brought it back.
Exactly.
He played really well. And I like his defense. I like him because he's a defensive guard instead of being a strictly offensive guard like some people.
Yeah. But that's why, alone in this, for me, best player in the season, AD. AD, I think he was the best player because two-way.
Okay.
AD was first in blocks.
Okay.
Let's go back down here. So he played 75 games, 36.4 minutes, 28 points. He was second in scoring. 53.4% field goal at 28 points. 34% from deep. And then 82.8 from free throw. 11.1 rebounds. Top 10 rebounder. 2.3 assists, which he's a big man, he doesn't pass. And 2.6 blocks. And I think he had...
2.6.
Yeah, 2.6 blocks. Led the league in blocks.
Yeah,
second in points.
Yeah.
Top 10 rebounds.
Yeah.
I mean, overall player right now. I think the best overall player might be AD.
I think it's AD as well.
He's a young monster.
Wow.
What was LeBron's stats?
LeBron. Ooh, do I have LeBron here?
We'll check. We'll see if we can find LeBron stats. But
Yeah.
on AD, I think looking at his field goal, especially for someone that was taking a lot of outside shots, it's easy for a post. It's not easy, but it's kind of easy for your shots around the rim. But let's not forget, AD steps into that mid-range. He steps into the 3.
Yeah.
So to be above 54% is
To
impressive.
be a stretch 4 and a dominant inside is quite scary.
And he led the playoffs in points scored inside. Led the playoffs, and he didn't go through to the final round. And leading that. We got LeBron here. He had 82 games played.
Okay.
For the first time in his career.
Yeah.
Hey.
But he played
Yeah.
81 one
Yeah.
season. And
Yeah,
he played-
2008-9.
I don't think he hasn't played under 60, has he?
No, he hasn't. He got 62 in 2011.
But wasn't
Good
that
job.
wasn't that the lockout season?
Might have been.
11-12
Yeah.
was the lockout season, so yeah.
No, that's 10-11. 11-12. Oh, no, yeah. 11-12. So he's played 36.9 minutes, 27.5 points, third in scoring, I think he was. 54% from the field, 36 from deep, 73 from free throw.
That's about typical.
Yeah,
It's poor.
yeah.
No, but it's typical for him.
Yeah.
He's about a 60% free throw shooter.
Yeah, for someone who gets to the line, you'd expect him to be a bit better by now.
Yeah.
No, but he doesn't
Yeah.
get to the line as much anymore. Have you noticed? Because refs are just like, you can take the hits.
Yeah.
But like James Harden and other guys that sell the foul go to the foul.
Yeah, James Harden is trash when it comes to drawing fouls. James
Exactly.
Harden is such trash. He got 8.6 rebounds and 9.1 assists, 1.4 steals, and 0.9 blocks. Yeah, good season.
Yeah, he had a really good
Yeah,
season.
he had a really
Great
good season.
but that's
Yeah.
what we expect from LeBron
Yeah.
James.
Yeah, that's the problem. He's getting killed by his own standards.
Yeah. Worst player. Oh no, wait, we moved that one because that's such a hard thing to talk
Yeah.
about. Playoffs. Best player in the playoffs.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, who on earth could this be?
Huh.
I
Does
think
he wear 23? He
Yeah.
does wear 23.
I think there's
Yeah.
no question about LeBron being the best player this
Yeah.
season. With what he had to work with, how he scored, LeBronto.
I'm sorry, game 1 against Golden State.
Ooh.
He was playing, what, 4v6?
Yeah.
4v6?
Yeah.
Well, we're not including the officials, but I mean, like, 4v6. JR just
Yeah.
started playing for another team, yeah.
Yeah. No, LeBron amazing in the playoffs, but then again, that's the thing. That's what we expect from LeBron.
But you don't
James.
expect that level of LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean,
LeBron
yeah,
James
especially
took
with
himself
this
to a
season.
new level.
Wait,
Yeah,
yeah,
he
how
did.
many 40-point games did he have? He had, what? I think it was like 6 or 7 around more than plus 40.
Yeah.
And then
throughout
he
the
also
playoffs, yeah.
and then he also had 2 buzzer beaters. 2 game-winning buzzer beaters.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
no, he did his job.
Yeah, he took what he usually does to another level this season or this
Yeah.
postseason. And now we move on to most surprising players of the most surprising and then disappointing player of the regular season. What you got, Camille?
Surprising. I wasn't sure how surprising. Me, honestly, I was surprised with how quick Giannis got out. But he did cool down, but I really like how he just made him essentially the next cornerstone for the league.
Yeah, Giannis
Yeah.
came in hard, eh?
Yeah, he
That
came
ju-
in hard.
That
Did
dunk
he-
over JR. No, not
Uh,
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Tim
That dunk over Tim Hardaway Jr.
Isn't
Jumped
Tim Hardaway
over a
like
man.
6'7"?
Yeah, he dunked over
Yeah,
the
he's
man.
like 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
Jumped over. He was standing up straight. That's
Exactly.
the worst part.
Beast.
Oh,
And he came out with 4 40-point games?
yeah.
Yeah.
He came out playing hard. There
For
was
someone
no,
who doesn't shoot threes.
yeah. He came out hard. He took his game to a new level. This
But there
season.
could also be a argument for Victor Oladipo because he came. People were like, Pacers lost the
yeah.
trade. They got Oladipo back for Paul George, and they just got screwed over. But it turns out they got a 20-point
Yeah.
per game scorer back
I
that
don't,
played hard
yeah,
defense.
I don't think I was surprised by Oladipo. I always knew that he could produce. I was just happy to see him produce.
Yeah,
I think I was
guess
just happy
you're
to see him
Yeah,
explode.
I think Oladipo is a more serious version than Dion Waiters. I think
Dion Waiters is the injury prone.
Exactly. The problem is Dion Waiters during the holidays just chilling, listening to rap music, probably smoking weed. Stay off the weed.
He says taking a puff of weed.
Yes.
Stay off the weed, kids.
But I'm not a professional, so I can be on the weed, but I'm not
No,
on the
he's
weed.
just smoking the weed so they can't.
Yes,
Exactly
exactly.
that.
Disposing of it.
But that's what separates them. He doesn't grind in the
Yeah.
off season. Oladipo does, and that's why Oladipo put up 24 points around,
Yeah, around there.
around 24 points per game.
Wow, we're really accurate on this show.
As time goes on, when we hire assistants, we do this ourselves. Who you got for most surprising player though, Chip?
Most surprising player for season, it has to be Oladipo for me. Eh? I definitely didn't see it coming. I thought the Pacers getting Oladipo was good, a great cornerstone, someone to maybe attract a star, potential superstar player. But he turned into someone that could be a superstar player.
But who wants to go to Indiana? But,
But no one wants to be in Indiana, though. You know,
But for most surprising, I gotta go with Spider Mitchell.
Spider-Man.
Who expects this 13-round pick,
No.
21-year-old, to lead the Jazz to the second round in the playoffs?
No, I liked him. I liked
I
him
was-
a lot.
I was blown away.
He had very little help on offense, which
Yeah.
was
And-
a big thing.
And he's a defensive player. He came into as a
But
defensive
he's also
player.
an inefficient scoring player. He's not the most efficient player.
Yeah, but it's his rookie year.
No, that's fair.
Rookie year
That's fair.
averaged 20 points, 1.5
Well, I mean, like
steals.
when you're the only one creating. Well, I can't say that.
Yeah.
It's not fair because Rubio was there too.
Rubio's there.
Rubio
had
was
the season.
dropping things.
Ruby had the season, hey? Triple-double on Westbrook.
On Westbrook and great games against.
Yeah, and
LA.
he
Yeah.
dropped. How many times did he drop plus 20 this season?
Yeah, dude, I think it was the most
I think
of
he
his
dropped
career.
more plus 20 this season than the rest of his career.
I think he got more 30-point games this season than the rest of his.
This is
But
great,
most
yeah.
surprising, I don't think anybody expect this 13th round pick to come out and be a rookie of the year
You
candidate.
could also make Tatum. Tatum just looked like
Dur-
a
Tatum
yeah,
was-
but during the regular season, Tatum was pretty quiet.
No,
Playoffs, I'd say.
No, he was
Regular
quiet
season,
because
yeah.
he's been compared to Donovan Mitchell, Ben Simmons,
Yeah,
and him.
Exactly, and if a 13th round pick can quiet up a
Well-
3rd round pick, it's
I also I did like I liked Ben Simmons this season.
But,
I really
yeah,
liked it.
I don't think anyone was surprised by Ben Simmons though. Everybody expected him to play.
I was surprised at how poorly he shoots the ball.
Yeah.
No, that's a surprising thing. But I love his defense and I love the way he runs the floor. I mean, like he
Exactly.
looks
Yeah.
like the next coming of
Ben
LeBron.
Simmons, get a jump shot.
Yeah.
I've got
He's
shooting
one
hands.
jump shot away from being the second coming of LeBron James.
Exactly
Wink,
that.
wink, nudge,
But
nudge.
Donovan Mitchell, very, very good player. I think is the closest we'll get to Kobe Bryant right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He came to
Does
play.
he look
this
more Kobe or more Wade?
I think he's got a bit more weight in him.
You think
Yeah.
a bit more?
Yeah,
weight?
Because-
a bit more weight.
Because Kobe, when he was young, he played. Okay, I can't say Wade didn't play above the rim, but it's just like he looks crafty like Wade did. Like when
Yeah.
he goes for layups,
Yeah.
he'll go
With
under.
the
And
ball.
then
athletic
6 putback dunk in the playoffs.
Was
Oh.
crazy
That was
Crazy.
beautiful.
Hitting game winners. He's looking like Dwayne Wade with a jump shot
Yeah.
with a jump shot, yeah, and better knees.
Yeah.
and better knees.
And better
Let's
knees.
hope we can all pray.
Let's pray that these stay good.
And who you guys got for most disappointing of this season, the regular season?
Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah,
without a doubt.
Carmelo. I've actually got some things on Carmelo Anthony.
Okay.
He below 20 points for the first time since his 2nd season. Lowest scoring he's ever had in his career. Lowest rebounds he's ever had, and lowest assists.
And
It's
also-
his lowest stat season
Also,
in his
how's his
career.
efficiency? His efficiency must have been garbage.
No, yeah, he was.
And also defense. There was nothing.
Yeah.
He could just run, come out in a pick and roll and get a free bucket.
Yeah.
Yeah,
True,
he
true.
was. He was so bad this season.
I agree, but for me, my pick is Hassan Whiteside.
I see that for playoffs, but
see
not
for
for
playoffs.
regular season.
Yeah.
Not for
see
regular,
for regular season.
The reason why
he just did what he did.
the reason why I don't put it for regular season is because he sat out so many games with
Yeah.
injury that he can't really be like he could never get on a good roll in the regular season. Like he'll come back for
Okay.
like a good 10 games and get injured again. Essentially, he was a fat, out of shape
Yeah.
Hassan Whiteside that I never really expected anything. But when the playoffs started, he really fell flat for me
Yeah.
because he couldn't mark Embiid. He got roasted.
He
He couldn't mark anyone else because as soon as the 76ers wanted to play wide, he couldn't mark the perimeter.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He was essentially a useless player out there, where to the point where Miami Heat had to rely on a really old Dwayne Wade to try save them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
Ben
saved
was
them a
his best
game.
player, exactly.
One game.
Yeah, it was like he was bad, but during the regular season, you get the guy Carmelo Anthony with ego of a superstar playing like a bench player.
No, like a
But
bench
not
player.
coming off the bench.
No, not
That's
coming
the
off,
thing.
refusing to come off the bench while playing like a bench player this season. He was
I think
every stat.
I
went
think
down.
he should have
was
gone
bad.
to the bench. If he
Yeah.
went to the bench, think about it. He's going against the lower grade talent because the thing about it, they're not going to put the A squad guy on Carmelo Anthony.
Carmelo Anthony aged badly this season, eh? Like last season, he still looked like Carmelo
And
Anthony.
he's-
This season, he looked old.
He looked old. But you know what? If I'm Carmelo, you must come and check our show, man. You know, if I'm Carmelo Anthony, dude, you're eating
Listen
big
to us
bucks.
insult you about your age, Carmelo, and your bad playing.
If I'm Carmelo, you're eating big bucks. It doesn't matter, dude. You know what? The Thunder messed up, and guess what? You opted in. Well done, man.
Well done.
Well
Yeah.
done.
Now we go into the playoffs. Most surprising player of the playoffs for me, I got Tatum.
Tatum,
And
okay.
Going from 13 points a game to 18 points a game, breaking records, dunking on LeBron.
I'm with you there.
He just blew up.
I'm with you there, but I also like Scary Terry.
Yeah.
Terry, but Terry started blowing up towards the end of the season too, and then it
He
just
thought-
kind of continued.
Yeah, but I mean, like the way that he exploded
Yeah.
on Bledsoe is especially who's Sarah Rozier?
Can I tell you the funny thing? Before Rozier was drafted, they compared him to a player. Guess who the player was? Bledsoe. That's the funny thing. Yeah, I agree with Rozier, but for me, most surprising player is Drew Holiday.
Yeah,
true.
Yeah, no one saw him come out.
nobody saw Drew
Nobody saw
Holiday
that.
coming out to defend Curry like he
But
did.
see, the thing is, he didn't get enough time to really make an impact because he got out a second round exit, where Scary Terry and Tatum both made it to the conference finals.
Exactly.
So you got to see
Yeah.
more of them.
I
and
think
you got-
surprising team of the playoffs is Celtics. Nobody expected anything out of the Celtics after losing their two
It could-
stars.
What, in the regular season or postseason?
Postseason.
Postseason.
After losing the two superstar players, I don't think anybody expected them to get
See,
to where they did.
The way that they were playing before that, I kind of had the feeling that they could kind of muster wins because they were well coached. The one that I didn't see anything coming from was Utah Jazz.
Yeah.
Jazz knocked out the OKC, the OK3 with PG,
The OK bye.
Westbrook,
Yeah, okay,
and,
but,
and Carmelo Anthony. He knocked these three out
Yeah.
with a decent center like
Yeah.
Steven Adams. He's a really good
Yeah,
center.
they took
They took them
the
what?
Rockets one game as well.
Yeah, they
they took
took-
the Rockets. Yeah,
Yeah, but the injuries caught up to
Yeah.
them.
they
Nah.
just got up to them. For me, I'm going with the Pelicans. I expected them to exit in the first round. I had
That's also
Damian Lillard
true.
winning in 5.
And no, but that sweep on Portland was
That-
crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sweep on Portland was crazy. They pushed the Warriors. I'm saying it now. Hate me if you want to. They were gonna beat
Golden
the
State.
Golden State Warriors if they had DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah. I
think-
can't see Golden State marking them. I mean, like,
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you gonna do? Put KD on Boogie and then put Draymond Green on
The
Anthony
7'1",
Davis.
6'9" KD.
Yeah.
Whatever height he feels like being that season, KD.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's go on to most disappointing player. I got Whiteside.
Whiteside.
Here's some fun stats. Okay, you can tell me which one's Whiteside. 26 points, 30 rebounds, 6 blocks. Which one's Whiteside?
Neither.
They're all Whiteside over the entire playoffs. Over 5 games.
Jeez, like
Yeah.
it.
Over 5 games, that's Whiteside. Kelly Olynyk, 1 game, 26 points. Matched him. First game, Kelly Olynyk, the bench center.
Matched him, yeah.
Yeah.
No,
over
but
5 games.
playoff Kelly's a thing.
Yo, Kelly's a beast.
Yeah,
eh?
it's,
He comes
it's
to play the
amazing. What? What a beautiful man.
Hey, it's Game 7 in Boston against the Wizards. Who's going to come up? I think Isaiah Thomas is going to have a big game in his game. Kelly Olynyk just shows up.
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk comes to play in the playoffs.
No, but the thing is, he's a fundamentally good player.
Yeah.
He knows his role and he does it well. If he's not in 2K, he's fine. I mean, like in 2K, he gets dunked on. I mean, like.
But Kelly's got great footwork. Eh? He's just
No,
such
he's-
a fundamentally sound big man.
Especially with
He
his
knows
shot.
where he is
And
at.
having that shot makes him so deadly because you can run him in a pick and pop so
It's-
well.
It's all in the caps that he wears with his suits.
Yeah.
Kelly Olynyk never seen without a cap.
True. For me, most disappointing player. I'm not gonna stick with one player. I'm going with players, and that's the whole Cavs supporting cast. To my boy J.L. Smith, I love Henny, but Henny doesn't make me lose my mind. Disappointing that none of them could shoot. George Hill looked like a shadow of himself. He was
Yeah.
brilliant before he got traded. Jordan Clarkson, mates.
Yeah. But Jordan Clarkson did so well in the Lakers, and the
Yeah.
Lakers refused to accept that he was doing
Exactly.
well. The Lakers were like, no, we want this point guard. Jordan Clarkson comes out, plays. Like, no, sit down. What are you doing? Go away.
Who said you had the right to be good?
Yeah.
Exactly.
No!
And the most disappointing player is Teron Lue. He's a coach, but he's an ex-player. You were trash. I can't believe you benched
He's
Rodney Hood.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Rodney
well,
Hood
he's
came
a-
out to play that.
He's
Yeah.
an assistant coach, let's be honest.
Yeah, to
So
LeBron.
here's one question, okay? Against, as things got bigger, do you think that the Cavs should have gone with Larry Nance Jr. in the starting lineup, moving Kevin Love to a center position, instead of playing Tristan Thompson? Playing Larry Nance Jr. in that power forward position.
Yes.
Being what Larry Nance Jr. can
See,
do.
the thing is,
and
Larry
how he's
Nance is too athletic to ignore.
Yeah.
Because if you ignore him, he dunks on you. He dunks on KD. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, KD's gonna have some Vietnam flashbacks after that. And
Yeah.
he's like,
Yeah.
that dunk was
I mean,
just brutal.
you've got a Thompson who's coming off a really bad season. He looks slower than he ever
And Gino
has.
and Kardashian.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
So
then
his
you've
mind
got
dies
this
in the right space.
young player who all he wants to do is what you need him to do to let the team win.
Yeah.
Let him do what he wants to. Let him do it.
Is from Cleveland as well, you know.
Yeah.
Cleveland native.
Yeah, he started wearing his dad's number.
Exactly.
It's too
Just-
deep in here for him to be
Yeah,
in
and just a side note, Tristan Thompson, you're 6'9", 6'10" person in the club. How don't you expect to get caught, mate?
Yeah.
Cheat better.
that.
I'm just saying cheat better if you're going to do it.
Also, how does he get out rebounded by guards?
Yeah.
Tristan
He's just
Thompson.
so lazy this season.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Yeah,
happened.
like he comes alive now and then. He came alive against what, Game 7, I think, against the Pacers,
Yeah.
and then he came alive sort of against.
In one, I think he came
Against
alive in the
Raptors.
first quarter in one of the Warriors games. He beat someone to a lab,
Yeah.
and that was his best play of the finals.
And he still can't shoot. I think Larry Nance also a good mid-range
Hey,
shooter.
we could also put
Shoots the
we could
occasional
also
three.
put JR there for most disappointing.
Mm.
You cost a game that changed
Oh.
the entire momentum of
Yeah.
the series.
Exactly.
That game could have made.
Think
the,
about it. Okay.
Mm.
So LeBron was playing the rest of the finals with an injured right hand, right?
Yeah.
and lost them all. And his morale was so down, demoralized after losing that game that he worked so hard.
Exactly.
Okay, so
50-point
wait. So
game.
this is how fundamentally bad the Cavs were without LeBron. LeBron's open. J.R. Smith decides to hold on to the ball because he's playing for Golden State now. Tyronn Lue knew he had a timeout. Didn't call it when he saw J.R. being
Dude.
J.R.
Dude.
No, LeBron James was the only one on the Cavs court. Okay, I can't say that. Maybe Kevin Love knew, but he wasn't in a position to do anything. But LeBron James was there, watching his entire organization be an idiots. No one called a timeout when they could have. No one told JR the score when he should have known it. And so,
You know what? You know what? I
Because-
blame Tyronn Lue because J.R. Smith shouldn't be on the court. How many
Yeah.
games did J.R. Smith have with no points
Yeah.
in the
No,
playoffs?
yeah, but he had Rodney Hood as a
be-
backup.
yeah,
You
be-
should have used him.
Be fair to Tyronn. It's hard for him to look at a court without imagining AI crossing him.
That's
Yeah,
true.
exactly.
It's hard-
Hey,
it's
he's
on
back
the
in
top
the
of those
finals.
guys, yeah.
He saw AI
And let's-
flashbacks.
And let's not forget mentioning George Hill, who should have made the free throw. He's an 80%
Yeah.
shooter. You know.
He should have
Just-
made the free throw.
Just
Should've
everything
made the
that
free
could have
throw.
gone wrong for the rest of the Cavs. did.
No, let's just say the rest of it. Everything that could have gone
Yeah.
wrong for LeBron
Yeah, it
happened.
did.
Because okay, say JR actually knows what's going on. He lays it up. Say he could get it up. Say he lays it
Yeah,
up.
KD wasn't
Yeah.
rebounding, eh?
Yeah, KD wasn't there. Say he gets it up. Say they win the game. LeBron James doesn't get frustrated. Go into the locker room and punch a wall. Injures his right hand. Which, by the way, he dropped a triple double while
Yeah.
injured.
Yeah.
He literally he dropped.
He was doing everything the Cavs needed him to do. The rest of them just weren't.
Exactly.
He literally did everything, and they couldn't.
Yeah.
But I'm excited for this off season
Yeah.
to see
But
where he goes.
speaking of teams, best and worst team of the regular season.
Best team. I'm
I've-
going with Boston.
I've got Rockets for best team.
You got August for best
Best team, Rockets. I mean, sure the team was Chris Paul and James Harden, but 65 wins, best record.
Yeah, but there's
in the
also
league.
Clint. No, it was a
Yeah,
really
dude.
deep team. The reason why I'm going for best team is Celtics. Think of what they did. Weren't they who was the highest defense? Wasn't it Boston? Boston was one of the best
Yeah.
defenses. But I mean, like, they lost Gordon Hayward, and they were still able to roll through the season.
Yeah, but I think most people expected Tatum to do a bit better. But yeah, Boston was good. But I've got best team Rockets. I just think they brought in someone who
I mean,
thought
like-
that would clash.
Yeah.
Clint Capella brought his game this season. Chris Paul and James Harden
Aaron
just
Gordon,
melded
Ryan
so
Anderson
well.
doing things.
Yeah.
Trevor
Trevor
Ariza
Ariza,
was on the
yeah.
team.
I agree.
Gerald Green was there.
Gerald Green
Gerald
though,
was very good.
when
Very
he
good.
nobody expected it. Just gets
Exactly.
signed, drops threes.
Just dropping threes. Rockets as well.
But when you can steal a home court from Golden State, that's
Yeah.
important.
Exactly.
That's important.
What I loved is James Harden the season before was taking bad shots.
Yeah.
Awful shots. And Chris Paul coming in, I think it just opened it up for him to
Yeah.
take.
He had
better
more
shots.
reliable shooter
Yeah.
and ball handler.
It also
He
allowed
wasn't
Mike
the main guy.
D'Antoni to play an offense constantly through
Yeah.
the game. So whenever James
Yeah,
Harden came off,
when you have two assist-heavy guards,
yeah.
you can just open your game up.
Can we also talk about the disappointment of Russell Westbrook? He averaged a triple double again. No one cares.
Yeah. I think it's because he did it already, and there was just so many other things happening.
Yeah.
It was just okay. He did
And
it
also
again.
because he was
And
doing
his
it on
team,
a
yeah.
struggling team.
Yeah, his team.
When you're still fighting for playoff position, but your guy is averaging a triple double.
I
It
think
doesn't
the
seem
issue
like it's a proper triple
was
double.
they expected them to. Everybody expected the Thunder to do better,
Yeah.
and they weren't doing as well. So his triple double was the second story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So worst team? Does anybody not have the Suns for worst team this season?
No.
Because the Suns set the record for the worst loss in an opening game. 124-76 against the Trailblazers, it was? As an opening game, and they just didn't recover from
But
that.
the
I
Suns
think-
look promising. not gonna lie.
yeah, they look promising, but right now they just...
Well, I
this
mean, like,
season they just didn't do
They
it.
were a D League team.
Yeah.
G League team, like that.
Yeah. And playoffs, best worst team.
Best West team in the
Or
playoffs.
best or worst
Oh,
team. Best worst team, yeah.
Okay.
Best team, I think I've got the Warriors as the best team.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, they just played good basketball. No matter how much you can say that they've got
They-
4 stars and they've
and they
got
were
this and
gifted
that.
with injuries
Yeah.
always.
But they also just played good basketball. Even without injuries and bad calls, they're a hard team to beat in the playoffs.
Yeah.
They turn up.
I've got the Rockets. I think it's a different game if Chris Paul is there. I think they take
Yeah.
Game 6 if Chris Paul is there.
And I think they take game 6,
Yeah.
they'll go
They'll
to
take
game 7, they win.
Yeah, they win.
Yeah.
Chris Paul there in Game 7, they lose Game 7 regardless.
And-
No, but the Rockets should have gone away from the 3-point line after a while.
yeah,
Game
no,
seven.
Rockets fell in love with the three a
The
bit.
three.
They
Wrong.
fell in love with something that was
And, yeah.
actually hurting. What? How many did they miss in a row? 20 something.
Yeah,
Yeah, they just
Yeah, you know if they make
shot
4 that they
badly.
win the game.
yeah,
4
exactly.
shots. They make
Yeah.
4 threes and they win the
You
game.
live by the 3, you die by the 3.
Yeah, but you don't have to live by the 3. You've got James Harden there. I'm pretty sure he knows how to take mid ranges and get to the line.
But he wasn't.
But he wasn't.
He
That's
he
the
was
thing.
shooting threes.
He was shooting
Why?
threes.
Because I think they panicked. They got a bit panicked in the game.
Playoff Harden's
They
a thing
didn't.
as well.
Yeah, they didn't
Playoff
have
Rondo's
Chris
a
Paul.
thing. Playoff Kelly, playoff Rondo, playoff Harden.
Yeah. I think they just got too lost in the fact that they lost one of their main playmakers, and Chris
Yeah.
Paul adds a whole new dimension to the game
He
when he's on the
does.
court with you.
Then
He
there's-
does.
then
He
there's-
adds composure and
Then there's a
toughness.
drop off of leadership in that group.
Yeah. That was playoff. Yeah, worst team in playoffs. I thought Trailblazers at first, but then I remembered that the Thunder were in the playoffs,
Yeah.
which is pretty easy to forget that they actually played there,
You
and they were just.
could also mention the Timberwolves
Uh,
that did nothing.
no, but I didn't really expect the Timberwolves to do a lot.
But that doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they weren't the worst. No, but wait,
The Thunder were just bad all around.
how is the worst team in the playoffs not an Eastern team?
Yeah.
That's a
yeah.
very good point. That's a very good point. But for me, the worst team is the Trailblazers.
Mm.
Why the Trailblazers?
It could actually be the Cavs, to be fair.
Yeah, they were a bad team.
Yeah,
But they have the best player.
Yeah.
But they have the best player, so you kind of get bailed
Yeah.
out. But Lillard didn't look like himself. He didn't look like an all-star. CJ McCallum was nowhere.
Nurkic.
Nurkic was. It was just poor. The coach's decisions were poor. The timeouts that he took at
Yeah.
certain times was poor. The game plan was poor. Everything was poor. Damon, it's time to come to LA, baby.
Hey, come to Miami.
Yeah.
We got you. 4-team trade.
So, most surprising team and most disappointing team of the regular season. Most surprising?
From the
I've
regular
got-
season.
Yeah, I've got 76ers. And here's why. So they had 50-32 record. In 2016-17, they had 28-54.
Jeez, like
They won 28 games
Jeez,
last
like
season.
Okay.
The season before that, they won 10. The season before that, 18. 19 seasons before the last time 50 wins happened. So the last time they had 50 wins was 19 seasons ago. And 2000 to 2001 season lost in the finals was, I think, the last time they were in the playoffs, where they had AI and Dikembe. So they just... They
See,
turned
normally-
from a 28-54 season to a 50-32 season.
See, I would agree with you, but the thing is, going into the season, you kind of had expectations. Well, I had expectations because they're finally going to be healthy, which
But that's
yeah,
never
yeah,
a
but that's true.
guarantee.
You can't trust that.
Yeah,
the
I was
76ers.
I was surprised
the
that Joel
76ers
Embiid
health team
managed
is actually
to
going to
play.
keep someone healthy.
Yeah.
They actually made they kind of allowed him to play the postseason. Embiid.
Yeah,
But he just dropped off in the playoffs. He got outplayed by
Yeah.
Horford.
yeah, but he played 63 games this season.
He
So
played
I
63
was
games.
surprised by the health and that they actually managed to get through. I was disappointed by Fultz, who can't
He-
shoot a free throw now.
No, needed to learn how to shoot a basketball.
Again though, he could shoot, and then he just lost it magically. Something happened to Fultz, dude.
Yeah,
I think
it's a
Thunderstruck. You know Thunderstruck, guys. When KD loses his talent, that happened to Fultz.
That happened to Fultz. We call it the money.
Yeah.
There we go.
How do you forget how
Yeah.
to
I
shoot?
don't know.
Yeah.
Like at some point, your instinct's gonna teach you how to shoot.
Exactly. And then with just with Embiid, I think he stayed healthy because of all those burgers he ate. You know.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Shaquille
Mhm.
O'Neal did that.
Yeah, but yeah, Embiid's like the modern day Shaquille
Yeah, he
with his
is.
personality that
With
he
his
brings.
personality, yeah,
That's fair.
definitely.
Yeah.
Dwight Howard is what he
was.
He
He
wants
was.
to be the
Yeah.
modern day Shaquille.
I mean,
Exactly.
for time he was,
Yeah.
Uh,
and
but
then
see,
he
the
just
thing
that
is,
injury to his back.
I don't know how to say this, but I don't know how this is true, but Shaq was more skilled but yet also a more physical dominant.
No, but
force.
Shaq was skilled. People give him. I don't think people focus on how
Yeah.
skilled
Yeah.
Shaq's footwork was
His
when
footwork
he
was
played.
amazing.
No,
Second
his
to
footwork
none.
was
Yeah,
great.
you don't
but
become
his footwork
that
is
dominant
great
in the
as
post.
his-
Yeah,
as he's dunking on
How do you
people.
average 28 to 30 with 12 to 15 rebounds and you can't shoot a free throw? You can't shoot a mid range.
that's just
That's just
Hey, no, but
crazy.
you'll make it when it counts.
yeah. You
Yeah,
get a lot of big guys,
barely,
but
but-
Barely.
Yeah, yeah. But he will. For me, best
Most surprising
team will have to be the Pacers. I thought there was going to be a bit
Actually,
of a
no,
drop
that's-
off. You
that's-
know?
yeah,
fair,
true.
that's
Actually, fair. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Pacers on Depot came in. They did well. They look like they're on the right track. It reminds me of the days when they were first in the East. They had Paul George doing his thing. Lance Stevenson, arguably still a good player, very entertaining. I think is good for basketball. But I think I think that organization is heading in the right place.
And I think an argument could actually be made for the Jazz as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The Jazz lost Gordon Hayward. People thought that they were going to have Gobert only, and they played a lot better
Let's
than
be fair,
people expected. them to.
Everyone lost Gordon Hayward this season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody tried that guy. Yo, even the winners lost.
Yeah.
He essentially sat out a season. LeBron just needs one of those seasons where he gets injured and he sits out the entire season just getting rest.
Just getting rest.
And for playoffs, who do? Oh wait, we haven't gone to disappointing this season. Who do you guys think was the most disappointing
Disappointing this
regular season? I've got Bucks because honestly, I thought they'd do a lot better than they did.
Okay.
They struggled towards the end. They have a good, well-rounded team that refuses to be well-rounded. They have shooters who just sometimes don't. They've got a well-rounded team. They just don't play like it. They've got Giannis who just plays everything, and then
Yeah, that's.
I mean Jabari Parker was healthy for most of the season again. Remember when he was a big deal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did anybody care that he was healthy
I,
this
I
season?
brought this
for
up a
most of
few
the
days
season?
ago. We were talking, and like, when I heard Jabari Parker was there, like, oh damn,
Yeah.
wasn't his rookie season like 2-3 years ago?
Yeah,
and then, like,
same year as Wiggins.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then so like the same year as Wiggins, and it was like, what happened to this man? Why does it feel like this is the first time I'm seeing him?
Yeah, but he
But-
came back, he played well, and then he just look. People like the Bucks had play in the beginning,
Yeah.
and then even their great players like Middleton was scoring a few 26-point games.
I like Middleton a lot. Middleton,
Yeah.
he plays good defense and he shoots. Like,
Yeah, but I mean, it was on the Bucks, so
it was-
they should have done better.
but they also
just
fired
didn't.
they fired their head coach for no reason.
Yeah, that was weird losing Jason Kidd. But I don't
Dude,
know.
how many
Jason
coaches
Kidd's an
lost their
asshole.
jobs this season?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's terrible.
Coach of the year, no job.
Go to the Robert. What's it?
Coach of the fire.
The most disappointing team for me was the Thunder.
Yeah,
Season.
The Thunder, it's just because of the hype. You bring in 2 other All Stars,
Yeah.
and you have Russell Westbrook, and you're like, okay, cool. And they didn't have to give up a lot for these players.
yeah.
Think about it, they
they
didn't
were-
have to give up any of their big core. They still kept Robertson because he's the core of that team. They can't- They can't do anything with Robertson.
Yeah.
I mean, like, without him, they're just trash.
I mean,
like,
without him, they can shoot free throws.
yeah.
Yo, Robert.
No, but then there's also Steven Adams there.
Steven Adams is a beast, though. As a
Yeah.
big man, Steven Adams is a.
But see,
house.
that's the thing. They
Very
kept
underrated.
their core.
Very underrated.
They kept their core, but they were not able to do anything because they couldn't work
Yeah,
together.
they just didn't have that chemistry.
For me, I think the most disappointing team, I'm going to go with 2 of them, though, and I'll explain a bit. One of them is the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are looking...
Oh yeah, the Grizzlies are in the NBA still.
Yeah, the sun.
No, aren't they really?
You see the Grizzlies?
Do you
They're
guys
just
remember that team,
lighthouse.
Brooklyn?
Yeah, Brooklyn is Brooklyn, you know.
Brooklyn is. I
Yeah,
don't think anybody
Hey, when you get
expects
the
Brooklyn.
Angelo Russell, but then people are still wondering why is he not playing?
yeah it's you get Okafor, you don't even give him a chance.
Yeah.
But for me, it's the Lakers. I know Laker fans, LA baby. You guys probably be like, nah, but we went 35-47, something like that. But I feel like the Lakers could have been a 50% or a
Weren't
little
they
bit
going to win
closer.
the playoffs in the beginning of the season?
Yeah, apparently we're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
win the playoffs.
Laval is going to win the playoffs. Rookie of the
Exactly.
year since he was a feet, all that.
Skip
Yeah.
Bayless is on some other shit.
Yeah.
PCP's bad for you kids.
Exactly. If I'm LA, we went through some stretches where we pushed the Warriors in every game. We looked very good against the Warriors. We went on some streaks of winning, but we went on a disappointing streak. We just need to sort out our defense. The defense has to be consistent. There has to be a clear identity on offense.
Yeah.
These are just the simple things. If we're losing games, and that's set in stone.
And there's also the LeVar issue.
And there's the
Yeah.
LeVar issue.
I think the worst part about the Lakers for me, well, there's two things. They fixate on a player, and even if he does bad, they ride or die that guy.
Yeah,
Your player can be shooting 0 from 34 from field 20 games in a row, and they'll still start him.
It's not a good.
And their best small forward is playing power forward. Their best
Yeah.
Kuzma,
is our best small forward,
Yeah.
exactly.
and he's not playing small forward. But even if he did, he would
It's also
start
not
because
a
they're in
good
love with
sign
him.
when Magic Johnson is also looking at his exit.
Yeah, the Lakers, they're just such a strange team. They're trying so hard to find the next Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, they are, but you know,
But
And
they
then
look, yeah,
Yeah, they took Lonzo Ball instead of Donovan Mitchell. I think they messed up.
yeah, they're trying so hard to find the next Kobe Bryant, but they're focusing on Derek Fisher's.
yeah,
Derek
yeah,
Fisher
true.
and Jason Kidd.
But
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing with like the Donovan Mitchell, why I agree with Magic Johnson, and I don't think besides Lonzo Ball shooting so poorly, I think the main thing we're in there was for someone to run the offense. Lonzo Ball runs the offense.
Yeah, he
very
does.
well.
He's no matter what you
No,
can
yeah,
say a
no,
lot
he
of shit
can
about
play-
him,
he
but
can
he's
play
a
football.
passer.
He's a
Yeah.
very good passer. That's what we needed. We needed someone
Best-
that
Best fast break passer, like cross court passer,
Yeah.
since Kevin Love, I think.
Yeah.
Some of his passes that he was giving.
were amazing.
Yeah, he loves pushing the tempo.
Brilliant vision, good defense. I think he was better than.
I think he's got a lot
D'Angelo
of I think he's got a lot of potential, but I
Yeah.
don't think he should have started through his hard times. I think Lakers need to look at sitting people down when they're struggling, so that they work on things more instead of working on them
Yeah.
during the game.
Who are
Exactly.
you gonna put instead of? Oh wait, at the time they had Clarkson. They
Yeah,
could
like
have
Yeah,
played.
they-
They could have
they-
played.
But they refused to start Clarkson, and then
Yeah.
you got Isaiah Thomas, an all-star point guard.
That they come.
Yeah, that
they
they're like, here, sit down.
He comes off the bench, but he gets
Yeah.
started minutes. And
Yeah,
then the other
yeah.
thing is he's
Yeah, but-
5'9", is a mismatch on defense.
Yeah.
Isaiah doesn't play defense. And
He can't play
Yeah,
defense.
I feel like Nate Robinson played defense.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
Nate
but
Robinson was
Nate
a-
Robinson was a monster athletically.
Yeah, he could
Yeah,
actually.
but-
He could actually.
Isaiah
touch
Thomas
the
can't
net.
jump over a small box.
If I'm
What
Isaiah,
are being mean?
you should get steals.
So.
You should get steals.
No,
Yes.
but he didn't work. See, the thing is,
I think he was demoralized, and I don't
Yeah.
blame the guy. I mean, he
Well-
put his heart and soul into the Celtics. The day after his sister passed away, played a game for them. How do they repay him? Trade him.
They traded.
How do you repay a player who puts his heart and soul into your team by trading him?
by trading?
And then he gets traded again.
Yeah.
Traded again. I just think
before he
the
gets traded,
Celtics
it's like
was-
I'm happy in
yeah.
Cleveland, and then you trade him.
I think the
Essentially what they're
Celtics were the
saying-
perfect fit,
Yeah.
and then they got rid of him.
essentially what they're saying is, your heart and soul is not worth as much as Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the Celtics was the perfect fit for him. The way that they play defense fit his
Yeah,
being short.
actually,
Yeah.
His offensive set fit them perfectly, and they just got rid of him.
think about it. No one, like previous seasons, Isaiah Thomas's defensive shortcomings weren't as pronounced as they have been this season, because this season he wasn't on the Celtics anymore. They were able to hide him on defense.
Yeah, but the
in-
Celtics
in
defense is,
Boston.
they're just great defenders.
Yeah,
they
that's the
have
thing.
really good help
But
defense.
I also think it's because like the last season Isaiah averaged 28.4 points
Yeah,
per game. So
he
if you're
played
a great
amazingly,
scorer
yeah.
and you don't defend, you're doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least.
And then,
but, I mean, like,
But his offensive set fit Boston.
Yeah.
They found a great point guard. They could have built something around him, and then they just traded him
he
away.
couldn't play with
think-
LeBron.
yeah.
Do you think Boston would be a better side with Isaiah and say Hayward coming back and then Tatum and Jalen Brown?
I
Or do you think
I
they
think
got
it's
more in
just
Kyrie?
it's very difficult to argue that a lot of point guards, a lot of teams would be better off with someone else rather than Kyrie
Okay.
and how he's playing right now. I
Kyrie's
think there's
looking good.
very few point guards in the league that can even match up against Kyrie.
Okay.
Without getting roasted.
Yeah, without getting roasted. I mean, you could go for more defensive point guards and say that you're better off with that.
Brandon
But I
Knight.
think, right now, I think right now Kyrie is a top 2 point guard. I mean, who would you put over Kyrie Irving as he's playing right now in the league?
Curry. That's about
Curry.
it.
I don't put Kyrie.
Yeah, I
over.
don't put Curry over.
I
As an
just-
overall player,
Let's see, the thing is, you don't get Curry's highlights as much. Like, you don't see him being the spotlight as much because of KD. But I mean, like, do you remember the past few seasons, his 2 MVP seasons? He was averaging 30. He hasn't changed. It's just he's taking less shots.
Yeah.
And he's got another guy to defer to.
but I think as an overall point guard right now, I think Kyrie may be the best.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris Paul's aging. I mean, a few years ago it was obvious Chris Paul. I mean, Chris Paul was the best for a while in the league, but
Yeah, in terms of being a pure point
being
guard.
being a point guard in the league nowadays is getting tough.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of great competition in the league as point guards. There's a lot of young guys coming out.
Every team that doesn't have a point guard loses.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
need
you
you need a
need-
solid cornerstone as a point guard to run your.
You need a close to all-star level point guard.
Yeah.
well,
to be able
Miami
to
got
contend.
one.
Yeah.
Like through. I mean, like I feel like at some point you gotta look at it suspiciously because of the amount of injuries that happened. Like they were just killing off Eastern player guys.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
no. That's what Hassan was doing. He wasn't actually injured. He was just going around breaking people's legs so Gore could start. Could be an also.
And finally, what do you guys? Let's take a look at the awards. I started compiling a bunch of stuff to have some discussions on it, but then they announced it the next day, so I was tired.
And you still have your opinions on it.
Yeah. So MVP, what do you guys think? James Harden MVP. I mean, the only person I had that could have maybe even. I mean, I had AD as a possibility, but I think we all knew James Harden was taking it.
Yeah, he was taking it.
Yeah, there was.
But
I
I
don't
mean,
think
like
there
it
was.
was essentially it should have been LeBron. Any other season it should have been LeBron.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But
I agree.
but you see it often. Players that.
All great get
Yeah.
penalized by their great.
Yeah, like Kobe
Like
Bryant had an
Ende.
amazing season.
Ende
but
should have more than
Steve
just
Nash
5.
got
Exactly.
MVPs.
Those two
It's
seasons-
just yeah.
Kobe got
Shaq,
robbed.
Steve Nash, Kobe.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Steve Nash got robbed. He didn't get robbed.
Yeah.
He got his 2 MVPs.
I think this is
Shaq
just
got robbed a little bit, and Kobe got robbed definitely.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think James Harden actually deserved it this season.
Yeah.
His team got better. He got a bit better on defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Got
he
better
improved
on
his game.
offense,
Yeah,
yeah.
from last year. So, I think James Harden, Rookie of the Year. I think Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, me too.
Honestly, I think-
I'm strongly against some. I'm
just-
strongly
yeah,
against
I'm
Ben
with
Simmons.
Ben Simmons.
I'm
I
strongly
think of him
against-
as he had the better season. He's the better rookie.
I'm against someone having a season off their contract being a rookie.
Yeah.
See,
Injury happens, but I mean,
I
you're,
see
not-
it-
you're still
okay.
you're still part of that team for that season.
yeah, but I mean,
And
like
the knowledge.
if he
Yeah.
qualifies for Rookie of the Year, I can't knock him for getting Rookie of the
Is he a rookie though? Donovan Mitchell, I need that
Yeah.
hoodie.
Year.
But Donovan Mitchell, I've got Donovan Mitchell coming out like that and just completely leading his team.
100% drag them
Yeah.
over the line.
Yeah,
Drag them over the line.
and made it look good.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, Rudy
Gobert.
Gobert.
Yeah, I like it.
I think
Yeah.
I've been wanting Gobert to win a
There's no,
Defensive Player of the Year.
I don't think you can
for a
actually say
while.
anything bad about Gobert at this point.
Yeah.
Like you can't say he doesn't deserve it because he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the person. I don't think Joel Embiid should have been a Defensive Player of the Year candidate.
Does
I-
Embiid really
oh,
play
he-
defense?
Yeah, I think he got some blocks,
Yeah.
but against Gobert and Anthony,
No, he's not.
he
in the same
wasn't a
squad.
conversational point. Joel Embiid compared to Anthony Davis and Rudy Gobert isn't a
Can we all
conversation.
mention that Draymond Green didn't even make the
Yeah,
finalists this
reigning
year?
Defensive Player of the Year wasn't even there.
Yeah. Also, the reigning MVP wasn't there
Yeah.
either. Well, ex-reigning MVP.
But yeah, on defensive play, I think Embiid gets a lot of credit because he plays very good help defense.
But I don't think anyone has a bigger defensive impact than Gobe.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone has a bigger impact of oh shit, and then leaving that ball over. Just 7'1" with a 7'8" wingspan.
Yeah.
The biggest, 7'9" wingspan. The biggest until this new guy Bamba, I think.
Yeah, Mo
Got
Oh,
Bamba.
Bamba.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 7'10" wingspan.
Yeah.
Jeez, dude,
Yeah,
the
Mo
guy's
Bamba's the one.
the guy can be good. Eh?
Yeah, you really can.
If you've got a wingspan in the NBA nowadays,
Yeah.
you have potential.
100%.
Just the way that the game's starting to be played, wingspan is a much bigger thing. It's becoming
Exactly.
much bigger.
It's a great asset.
Yeah. And then we've got most improved.
There's only one winner.
Victor Oladipo,
Only
easy.
one winner.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I
anyone
mean, like
else had
Clint
a
Capella
chance.
did really well,
Yeah.
but he didn't do the
Yeah.
level of Victor Oladipo well.
If
But again, he
I was
couldn't
actually
because he's on
interested
a team
in-
with James Harden and Chris Paul with
Yeah.
getting the ball to do his own thing.
Exactly.
I was actually interested in looking for at what Capella actually did this season, and if you look at his stats, I mean, you hear about him and see what he does, and it looks impressive. But
His stats aren't impressive.
yeah, he played 74 games, which is the second most in his season, which is okay. 13 points, like a point better than last season. His field goal went up a little bit.
Yeah, and wasn't he the
Yeah.
best field goal percentage this
Yeah, he was highest
Yeah,
with
yeah.
65.6.
Yeah, but when you got James Harden and Chris
Yeah,
Paul,
all you get
yeah.
is easy buckets.
10.8 rebounds, which I mean,
When
he went
you're-
up 2 rebounds, and then steals he barely went up, blocks he barely went. So he didn't improve that much. He just
Yeah.
played a bit
No,
more
but
than last
he
season.
probably was a bit more efficient overall.
Yeah. But I think that just comes with playing with Chris Paul.
Yeah, I
Chris
think it's
Paul.
just.
I think
a
Chris
better
Paul just makes
offense.
people better.
Yeah. I
Ah,
agree.
well, that closed. And then we have got. I just closed the thing. Defensive player, most improved rookie of the
Was
year.
it a sixth man?
Sixth man of the year. Yo, Lou Williams. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Williams.
Was
I'm
there?
sorry when you light up people like
Yeah.
that when you got a 50 and a 40-point game in the season.
I had Lou Williams to
Off
win it
the
the season
bench.
before when he was still in LA, so I think
Yeah,
it's
if-
much deserved.
As soon as you've got a starting
He was
player
instant. He was
in
instant.
the
offense.
bench position,
Yeah,
Carmelo could have made sixth man of the year if he wasn't such an egotistical dick.
exactly. Melo probably could have averaged 20 plus if he came off the bench.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's playing against what? Second-rate small forwards.
But while we're on Carmelo, okay, guys, I've got some Thunder stats
Okay.
because the Thunder 48 games, they won 48. Yeah.
Okay.
Westbrook, I think these in playoffs, right? Let's look at their playoffs.
Okay.
29 points, 12 rebounds, 7.5 assists at 39% shooting, which is, I mean, people thought that he was shooting a lot worse. So
He-
39.8.
Yeah, we should a lot more
Yeah.
because guys aren't contributing.
No, but it's also his. It went
Yeah,
down
the way,
towards it.
yeah.
What
he
was
just
his last
started,
game? He
yeah.
scored what?
He started
40
flailing a
something.
bit.
He started
Yeah.
score. He scored 40 something points in how many shots? 40 points. 40 shots or something like that.
Yeah.
Took 40 shots to get 40 points. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, -6 plus minus,
Plus
which
minus.
is the first time a negative plus minus since his rookie season in the playoffs.
Yeah.
PG got a negative 2.9, but he played.
PG.
Yeah, Paul George.
Poor
Oh,
George. Parental
PG,
guidance, baby.
And then we've got the Carmelo Anthony, the fifth worst plus minus. The people lower than him were Lillard, Alfarik Aminu, Jeff Teague, and Andrew Wiggins.
Wait, he's still at the Trailblazers.
Yes.
Yes. you
Yes,
see,
Aminu's
that's
still.
why you guys suck. There we go.
Aminu should not be a power
player.
forward.
Wiggins
Yeah.
doesn't know how
I
to play
think-
defense yet.
I think he has an argument for power forward. But to end us off, what's the biggest move you guys want to see in the off season? What do
I
you
want
want to see?
Boogie to another team.
You want to see
I want him
Boogie?
in the East.
And Drew, what's the biggest move that you want to see this off season?
Biggest move, LA, baby. I want all the players. Honestly, we don't need. I don't even think we need LeBron James. I'm gonna put it out there, LeBron.
So wait,
I don't
you're gonna
think we
say
need
you're
you.
gonna tell me you're gonna say no to LeBron James?
What I'm saying is, if we get Paul George and DeMarcus Cousins, I'm saying no to LeBron James.
Yeah, you don't want to overburden your contract.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
That's what a lot of Lakers fans don't see is
Yeah.
they've got a good young core, but they want every single player without losing a single player.
Exactly.
Lakers, a lot of Lakers fans want to get trades without trading away.
Exactly.
And it's the weirdest thing to see the tweets about them because
Yeah.
it's like, we'll get this and then we'll have this starting lineup and nothing has changed about
You
their
know
entire
that's
team
scary.
except they
LeBron
got
might
a
actually
new
stay in Cleveland this year.
Yeah, he might,
player.
but
If
hey,
They've
Cleveland
got
make
one
the
more
right
year.
moves.
yeah. I'm saying his son is enrolling to a school in LA.
Yeah.
That's one thing.
No, but it's 8th grade. It's not high school yet, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, true.
But still, he's moving to LA.
he's
son
moving.
moving to LA.
Yeah, I think it's pretty strong.
I think
LeBron
last
is-
time his kids moved across that like that for schools was Miami.
Yeah, and he's very family orientated.
Yeah.
You
He's
see
a
that.
family man.
He's a family
At this point, it doesn't matter because you're an NBA player. You're
Yeah.
moving either way.
And all his
Yeah.
businesses are there. Let's
Yeah.
not forget he's got big businesses in LA, so it makes sense.
But biggest move, too. Biggest move.
No,
What
but
do
it's charity
you want to
this
see
season.
this?
Hey, what do I want to
Yeah.
see?
What's the biggest thing you want to see happen this off season?
Hassan out of my hand.
No, I think the biggest thing is
That would be a finals parade in Miami. At this point. You get a trade. Trade
We
Whiteside,
traded
you get
Hassan.
a finals parade.
We've traded Hassan Whiteside for what? A draft pick.
okay. I'm
I
gonna.
think that Miami could have gotten rid of Hassan. I think Miami should have taken. They had a few opportunities apparently in the draft.
Yeah.
I think they should have taken one of them.
I think they should have got rid of him for Luca.
I would have even they had that opportunity.
Yeah.
They had the opportunity
To get
to
Luca.
but we would have absorbed things contract.
Who?
Chandler Parsons. We would have absorbed.
I
We
would
could have gotten the Grizzlies pick if we absorbed his contract.
I would have taken that
Yeah,
at this point because we're like, what's the worst thing that could happen?
Isn't
honestly,
Chandler Parsons' contract the same as Whiteside's?
it's
though?
20
Yes.
million. It's
Yeah.
somewhere around 20. But
Yeah.
I think Michael Porter Jr. Miami could have gotten him. I think he slipped down low because of his back injury.
Yeah.
He's a 6'10" power forward now. He registered as power forward. He also plays small forward that can shoot threes.
Yeah.
He was the finish with number 1 pick last year.
Yeah.
very good, very good.
But
Yeah.
he's a really good prospect, so I think Nuggets got a gem there.
Yeah, they did.
definitely.
Dropping down to 15th pick. I think
Yeah.
if he gets healthy, he's
But
gonna
then
be
again,
good.
does the Nuggets have patience? They had a gem in Emmanuel Moody and traded him away.
Yeah, I think no. He took a while to bloom though.
Yeah, but
That
you're
was
the
a lot
Nuggets,
of
then
things.
you're not going
He still,
anywhere.
yeah, he
You're
still
not
hasn't
going
bloomed
anywhere.
though. He moved to the Knicks. He still hasn't.
Name an
bloomed.
all-star that's been drafted by the Nuggets. Besides Carmelo Anthony.
Recently, I don't think there's many.
Yeah.
recent-
No, but the last time they got an all-star was in 2003.
Yeah,
They
Yeah.
don't know how to conserve talent.
Yeah, true.
It's hard. It's like
Can
the
we all-
magic. It's hard to keep talent in the league today because players want to win. They come
Exactly.
in the league wanting
No,
to
but
win.
let's be honest.
You
OKC messed up.
Yeah,
OKC messed up.
Yeah.
yeah,
They drafted 3 players in a row, and they all won MVPs, but they're all on different teams now.
Yeah. For
But-
me, just going back to the question, I think the biggest thing needs to happen before I forget. I've highlighted a few things, but I won't elaborate on many of them because it just makes sense. Paul George has to leave the Thunder. There's
Yeah.
nothing.
I
happening
think
there
he's
for
going
the
to
Thunder.
Lakers. Lakers homeboy. He's fishing in LA right now.
Yeah.
I think he's made up his mind.
I think yeah, you should come to LA. I won't speak about LA because you already know what I want for LA.
Everybody.
Yeah, I want everybody.
LeBron off bench.
Hey, MJ, are you coming
The
back
thing
out of
is,
retirement? Yeah, I'm
if
in.
Paul George is not going to go to LA, Paul George, the best fit for you will be the
76ers.
Thunder.
Yeah.
Not the Thunder,
Yeah,
sorry. Get away
76ers,
from the
yeah.
Thunder.
The 76ers.
76ers, possibly. But you know the interesting prospect? I'm looking at him at the Rockets.
Ooh, yeah. That
I think that's
I don't,
that's
think,
at
I
the
don't think
Rockets.
they can afford him and keep the
Yeah.
core.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because they need to get Chris Paul back, and Chris
And
Paul
they'll-
might get
yeah.
a much
Yeah, and they
contract.
also have to pay Capella this season.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. And then, and I think the last thing, it's a big thing. It's in LA, baby. The
Of course
Clippers,
it is.
please get rid of Doc Rivers and
Yeah.
enter rebuilding mode. Trade away DeAndre
Yeah.
Jordan, get some picks. You guys are stuffed.
I think the biggest thing I want to see is that 4-team trade.
Yeah.
Not only because it gets Lillard into Miami, okay?
But that messes
But
the
it's
entire.
4 teams involved in
Yeah,
this.
exactly.
That would shake up a lot,
Yeah,
and I think
sure.
that would just be great to see.
Exactly.
Also, I want Kawhi to Miami.
Yeah, Kawhi to Miami. Let's trade Whiteside, a bag of crisps, and Dion Waiters.
Well, you said a bag of crisps.
Yeah, oh, yeah, fair
So,
enough.
so,
He's
good,
as-
Yeah,
good.
he brings the bag of crisps with him.
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
No, but I mean, like, honestly, we could actually offer Hassan and Goran actually
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
a trade.
Actually, you know what? If I'm Magic Johnson, what I want to see is for the first time in a long time, if we're not going to get, the superstars that we need,
To get into the playoffs.
do not trade away the young core
Yeah.
for Kawhi. Trade away Ingram, trade away Hart. Do not part ways with Kuzma.
Yeah,
And if you're gonna trade away Ingram and you need someone else, get rid of Lonzo Ball.
yeah. I don't think trading away Ingram. Ingram was a great surprise this year.
You think
He
so?
was, no, not Ingram. Kuzma. Don't trade away
Kuzma,
Kuzma.
yeah,
Kuzma was a big surprise.
Yeah.
Ingram was surprisingly
I will
disappointing.
find
again.
this audio clip and hold it over here for the rest of your life that you said Ingram was a great surprise this year.
Andre Ingram was a great surprise this year.
Yeah.
Brought him on,
Ingram,
he
yeah,
just
brought him
dropped
on.
points.
He
Andre
just
Ingram,
dropped
man.
points, exactly, working towards
The
his
best
whole
player
life.
named Ingram in LA.
Yeah.
Okay, I know I said last thing, but just came to my mind. Where do you think Dwayne Casey's going? Who do you think might pick up the reigning coach of the year? He's no longer a
Who needs
Raptor.
it? 76ers.
76ers?
Ooh,
Bucks need a coach still?
I
you think?
say the Bucks. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna be brave, and I say Clippers. Save yourself
Yeah.
and get Dwayne Casey.
The
I
reason
mean,
why.
we see it.
Oh, why not the Suns? Why not the Suns?
Oh, yeah.
Who
the
is
Suns
the
are
head
good.
coach?
I don't know.
They probably have Devin Booker there just standing on the sidelines.
And why
Oh.
not the Suns?
See the Suns. Who wants to go to the Suns? We don't
I
know.
think the Suns is such a great prospect. The Suns'
Igor.
head coach is Igor Kokoskov.
Because
Igor, it's fucking Igor.
Okay, and what? He was the assistant coach at the Jazz.
Huh.
You see, everything for the Suns doesn't make sense. How you gonna hire an assistant coach, guys? Really? Really?
Nah,
You had a poor season, you're gonna
see,
bring
the
in an
thing is,
assistant coach?
if the Knicks hadn't filled their gap yet,
Yeah.
I would have said he was going to the Knicks.
Yeah, but they got a good coach.
Yeah, they got a good coach. They got
Fizdale.
Fizdale.
Yeah, Fizdale's a good
Uh,
coach.
Fizdale, highly rated. I
Yeah.
thought he was actually gonna be ending up at the Lakers. Why not the Lakers get
Yeah. Why don't the Lakers just sign all the coaches?
Lakers need
Jason
everybody right
Kidd,
now,
Hey,
yeah. LeBron
um,
James part-time. Chris Bosh can come coach at the Lakers.
Hey, I want Chris Bosh back.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't. I
I
think
don't
he's-
want to take the risk if he's
Yeah.
not 100% healthy, but I want him back.
I'd love to see him in the league, but I don't think he should.
I
ever
want
step
him back
into
in
the game.
Miami.
Yeah, I don't think that he should play basketball again.
Well, if
A
he
blood
can't get
clot,
healthy.
no, a blood clot in your lung, dude. Even if you think you're healthy,
Yeah.
2 blood clots in a row after being cleared.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it's-
Chris
yeah,
Bosh, are you ready
especially
to
in
die
your
for the
lungs.
money?
It's
I
gone
know.
from his calf to his lungs. It's moving closer to his heart.
Yeah. Don't die
I
for
don't
the
want to.
money.
Yeah, I don't want to see Chris Bosh, a family man, down the court.
Yeah, don't die for the
Yeah.
money. Don't be a nigga.
But I'm gonna have to find that and bleep that out. I'm gonna get demonetized for just that.
No, but you've been swearing too. We've
Yeah,
all
but
been
I haven't
swearing.
been saying the PewDiePie word.
Yeah.
The PewDiePie.
But I'm black. Okay.
I'll
Hopefully
put up
that's
a
it.
picture of you.
Alright, cool. Yeah, just put up a picture of me. I'm black. Yes. I'll use
Okay.
that.
Well, that's been this discussion. Leave your comments down below on what you think on the topics. Thank you guys for watching, and this brings an end to overtime.
You know.
Someone took an L in this. I think it's you for listening to the whole thing.